Everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of Cupcakes and Cashflow, where we will sit down and meet with women in business and discuss mindset and all things business, from motherhood, setting up, and a little bit of madness in between. And today, standing in for Shelley, who wasn't able to come, we have the lovely Lesley. So I'm going to pass over to Lesley to introduce herself. Hello.
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here, and honestly, Charlotte, what an episode to jump into. I'm so excited to be covering for the gorgeous Shelley while she's away. So hi everybody, I'm Lesley and I'm excited to do this.
Yes, let's jump in. So over to you, Nicola. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. I'm Nicola Eaton-Taylor, founder of Spark Inspiration. I'm an executive leadership coach, NLP master practitioner, HR expert.
Lovely. So for anyone, Nicola, who is completely new to you, how would you describe what you do at Spark?
Yeah, so what I do is, in the simplest terms, I ask questions and I listen intently. The words that people use are really insightful into what's going on, into their deeper levels of consciousness. And so when we just listen to what people are saying, we just kind of sometimes get stuck in the superficial. But with coaching, especially with the NLP coaching techniques that I use, you can really hear the deeper message.
Yeah, so you speak about NLP. For our listeners who may not be familiar with NLP, could you just briefly explain what that is?
Yeah, of course. Neuro-linguistic programming is basically a way that your brain communicates with itself and then with others. So the neuro is your neural networks, your brain, your nervous system. And the linguistics is the language that you use to talk to yourself and to others. And the programming is the behaviours that come out because of that process.
Yes, there's quite a lot to it, isn't there? But it's essentially your words that you think and you say out loud is what your brain says, okay, then this is what it is. So your behaviours then reflect the words that you're using.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes there can be a mismatch or a misalignment between the things that you believe and the actions that you take. Neuro-linguistic programming has lots of different techniques which goes into discovery about what's happening. So we look at beliefs, we look at values, we look at attitudes, and then we can understand behaviours. And then we can move forward and let go of things that are holding us back.
Yes, fantastic. So you've blended corporate experience with your coaching, NLP, and holistics. It's such a unique mix. What led you down that path?
Yeah, so I had a lot of, I've moved around in my career quite a lot. I've started in insurance and then I worked in the civil service and the mental health institutes and the council, manufacturing, and then in the charity sector. I've worked in leadership, HR and health and safety. And when I started my career, I was struggling a lot with stress, and so I went on a self-discovery really. I ended up then loving yoga and I started to teach yoga. At the same time I qualified as a holistic therapist as well. So I'd got almost two parts of me which were in conflict. So I went on a NLP practitioner course, absolutely loved it. And then I qualified with the same company as an executive leadership coach at a postgraduate level. And so by combining the NLP allowed me to bring the holistic side into the corporate world. So I'm able to coach and listen deeply and help people move forward.
Fantastic.
I mean, I'm sat here talking to you and I can feel your emotions coming through and you hear your passion as well. So the name Spark Inspiration, what does that mean to you personally?
Oh, it's that aha moment. When I've worked with somebody and I've asked them a question that's really got to the root of their problem and they can just release it and they go, aha, I get it. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Oh, it's amazing. So powerful, isn't it? So you've openly shared that you have overcome personal challenges and limiting beliefs yourself. I understand this. What were some of your turning points that pushed you forward in this work?
Yeah. So I had lots of fears and phobias. Presenting and driving was the sort of the main things that used to hold me back. And I remember looking for jobs and thinking, I can't do that. I'm going to have to drive on the motorway. And so it got to a point where I just thought, I'm not being held back. So yeah, the NLP really helped me in that process by letting go of those reasons why I was frightened to drive on a motorway.
Yeah, so it's quite a powerful moment, and we've all got things that hold us back without realising it. But in your business and Spark Inspiration, you specialise in helping and supporting leaders and HR professionals. What was the moment that you realised this was who you were supposed to serve?
That's a really good question. I spent a lot of time with HR leaders and executives and CEOs and leaders of companies, and so I understand what they're going through. When you're managing a company, managing directors, CEOs, etc., it can be quite lonely, and they might not have a sidekick to sort of share their concerns with, and they've got the weight of the decisions that they've got to make. So for them, it can just be a listening space, and again, the critical curiosity questions that I ask and the challenging of the certain keywords that they might come up with, that's really where they can understand why they're thinking the way they're thinking and decide whether that's the right thing for them to do. And it's all confidential and safe. And with HR is a very strange place to work. You're at the centre of the seesaw and you're managing the expectations of your employees and your employer. And so, again, that can be a lonely place. And so what I do with them with coaching is to help them to find their own boundaries and to not necessarily worry too much about people's opinions, because you're not going to please everyone all the time. And HR kind of gets the raw end of the stick. They get the blame, but you don't actually know how much they're working behind the background to make things happen. So HR do need a lot of help.
And your breakthrough days, they sound incredible. So what actually happens in one, and why are they so transformational?
Yeah, you've said it. They're incredible and transformational. And that's because there's a little bit of pre-work to do with people who require a breakthrough day. They spend some time with me. They write an essay about the experience that they had so far and exactly what they want to achieve in the future, and give me a little bit of an indication about what they see as the blocks to that. But basically, the breakthrough day is unique and bespoke to each person. So there's no strict formula on what's there. I've just got a very large toolbox that I kind of just open up and deploy as per person's needs. Things that are present are always around values, understanding and eliciting people's values, and then finding out if there's a values conflict with what they believe and then what they're doing. I also cover timeline therapy, which is an amazing tool to release negative emotions like fear, anger, sadness, hurt and guilt. It's a hypnotic process. And then we can shed phobias with a quick phobia technique. We can get rid of OCDs, work really well with some eye movement changes and some strategy changes. And then we can set goals and we can have some hypnosis, and then we can finish the day off just by planning the future.
Fantastic.
Yes, amazing what you do. And you describe your approach as a done with service and not a done to service. So what does that look like in practice with your clients?
Yeah, perfect. Because if somebody came to me and said, Nicola, fix me, I can't do it. It's not in my power to do that. It's the individual who has to change themselves. So that's why it's a done with service. So they come and they are ready to change, and that's the main thing. I talk about people being above the line, which means that they take accountability, responsibility and ownership. And if they're not above the line, then they're in below the line, which is blame, excuses and denial. So a coach needs to be ready to a coachee needs to be ready to change, and so that's why it's a done with service, because I can't do it for them. They have to want to change and do the work themselves. So I am asking questions and giving them thought-provoking ways to change their views and their perspectives, but ultimately they need to have the flexibility to want to change and to see it through. The analogy I use is that, you take your car to a garage and ask the mechanic to fix it. You collect your fixed car. Coaching is not like that. We have to do it together.
Yeah, no magic wand, just abracadabra, you're all fixed now.
Yeah, exactly. So your Eastern and Western techniques together, how do you know which one to use with each client?
Yeah, that comes with experience and the 20 or so years of both corporate experience in HR and health and safety and all the holistic side, so the yoga teaching and the holistic therapies. And really it's about the presentation of the problem. So, for example, it really depends on what they come for. I've been working a lot with leaders who are a little bit ready for their next move but not quite thinking that they're ready for a promotion, and so I go under their hood and ask them all questions about where they believe they're at in their career, and we look at their USP, and it's almost like a branding exercise we go through, and we sort of talk about what they're good at and how a job might match to their skills and abilities, and then we talk about how to present that on a page which makes them shine. And in terms of HR, for example, it's a completely different issue. It's to do with the boundaries, and it's to do with knowing that you're doing a good job despite other people not telling you so. So you just do a good job anyway. You don't need to have the praise or the feedback. So yeah, different tools, different techniques.
So it depends on what you walk into, really. Yeah, it's
absolutely that.
All open to, when you go in, you think, what? Like you said before, you've got a big tool bag. You go into the room, you dip in and pull out what you need for that particular situation.
That's correct.
Brilliant. Fabulous.
So a lot of people will see coaching as an expense, not as an investment in themselves. So when you've been working with your client, what is the biggest mindset shift that you've noticed within them?
You're right. We've all got limited beliefs about ourselves. We've all got limited resources. So generally what I'd say is, coaching or a breakthrough day costs pretty much about the same as a holiday. And when you go on holiday, you have a good time, but you come back to the same problems that you left before you went. So obviously that's an option that if people want to do that, but investing in coaching, it's investing in yourself for exceptional and unbounded limits, so it depends on the return on investment that you want to get. I mean, the other option, of course, is that you don't do anything and you just so you carry on doing the same thing and expect different results. What are you going to choose? It just depends on whether you want to make a change and what you want to spend your resources on.
Well, that's the definition of insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing again.
Was it Albert Einstein?
Yes, it was one of the greats. I can never remember, but it has always stuck with me, that one.
Yeah, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results. Yeah.
Yep. And when you're in that state, what do you feel? You feel frustrated, angry at yourself. Your limits become bigger than ever, and you're self-perpetuating those feelings of inadequacy, not feeling good enough.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to that person if that's where they want to stay, but they can make a change by just investing in themselves with some coaching.
Yeah, and having the support to find the answers within themselves.
It's just a choice, isn't it? But they have to make it. You can't make it for them.
No, that's correct.
Fabulous. So you work with leaders in manufacturing and bigger companies. What do you find that they come to you with the most?
So that's really interesting, because I'd say I get approached about workplace mediation, and it'll be someone's not getting on with someone, can you come and fix it? And so that'll lead us down a path of leadership, accountability and understanding communication methods and models. So I talk a lot about building rapport and how to read the room, emotional intelligence, psychological safety, and that's where we can sort of map what changes need to happen. So not just that individual leader who approaches me for the mediation, absolutely yes, but all the peripheries that come to support that workplace in understanding each other to be able to communicate better.
Definitely, it's a big thing.
Yeah, it is a massive thing. Like conflict resolution as well within the workplace is huge as well. I know being in different workplaces over the years. So if you could give every leader who is listening one piece of advice today to instantly improve their relationship with their colleagues or well-being in the workplace, what would it be?
It's a really good question, that, but I think everyone's on a different journey and everyone's at a different part of that. So there's not one piece of advice that would work across the board. And this is why I work with people individually as to where they're at. So I'd say ultimately it's all about communication. And we transmit, don't we? Where we transmit information. And the success of that transmission is only about the responses that you get back. So if you're not getting the responses back, then you need to change your transmission.
I think it celebrates the individuality of us all as well, because we all communicate and work and are wired in different ways. So the one glove fits all is not, because we don't all fit in one size.
It would be boring if we did, wouldn't it?
Oh, imagine.
So what are some signs that someone is stuck or have patterns that hold them back in work?
It's the language that they use. They talk about blame and give excuses, and they criticise themselves, they criticise others. You know, they'll say, oh, it's because... And sometimes they go back and they tell me it's about the teachers that they were at school, or, you know, what their parents said to them when they were little. So they hold on to all of those statements that they think are true. And that creates their future, and it creates the now, and it creates the blockages. So it's all about the language. And when I hear that, I ask curious questions to allow them to move forward.
So what about the HR teams? How could they use coaching more effectively to create a happier workplace?
So coaching is an incredible skill to have for any leader, HR professional, or even parents. And there's lots of different ways that professionals can develop their own coaching skills and use them within their organisations, particularly when there's like a reflect and correct approach that's needed for an individual, rather than going down a disciplinary route or trying to deal with a grievance or anything like that. It can just be holding a conversation, holding somebody accountable to their behaviours that can help the correction and move forward with new behaviours. And that's where HR professionals can benefit from learning how to be a coach themselves. But what I do is I coach HR professionals so that they can have a better result for themselves.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
So, onto a lighter note. Right, Nicola. We have to talk about it. The big words here. It begins with a C. Christmas. How do you think Christmas can affect our mindsets and people's moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, we're all conditioned to think, aren't we, that Christmas is brilliant and a wonderful time. But it's not like that for everyone. And so the first thing I'd start to talk about is your body budget.
Right.
And your body budget. Do you know, you've heard the word, I'm sure, hangry, when you're hungry and angry? Yeah. Well, that's an example of your body budget. So your body, and I'm sort of softly referencing Maslow's hierarchy of needs here, you've got a physical body that needs things, doesn't it? It needs nutrients, it needs water, it needs sleep, it needs love, it needs connection. All of those things you're still going to need under times of pressure. And if your Christmas period is a time of pressure, you need to focus on your body budget and make sure you get enough sleep and you get your nutrition that you need and give yourself your space, and obviously keep up with your exercise routines that you've got. And even such things as temperature, you know, you can get really angry or grumpy if you're too hot or too cold. That's your body budget in action as well. So focusing on your body budget will help you deal with your emotions.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is especially stressful for women who are juggling business, family, money all under one umbrella, along with Christmas and the chaos of the routine going as well.
Yeah.
I like that, the
Exactly.
body budget.
Body budget, yeah.
Yeah, secondly, I'd say that you've got the power to change your emotional state. So if somebody is, you know, this time of year we have people coming to our house that we don't see for a year, and there's a reason why we don't see them for a year.
Yeah.
And so they can sometimes be what's known as energy vampires. Have you heard that phrase before?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, and they just come and suck your soul out of them, don't they? And so for these people, it's the skill is about having boundaries, about how you allow your energy to be removed from you. And the best way to do it is to consciously give it away, because then it's your choice to give it away. So fill them up with as much energy from you that they can cope with. Don't get sucked into their dramas, and just be boundaried about your expectations with them. And then hopefully they'll fall asleep and they won't bother you that much for the rest of the day. And you don't have to see them again until next year.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be taking that advice this Christmas.
I've shared that advice with somebody recently.
And the other thing I'd say probably as well is about switching your thoughts from frustrations of not being good enough and moving on to gratitude and forgiveness and acceptance.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I guess that is a good message for anyone who's already feeling overwhelmed with the stress of Christmas, or even guilty that they're not doing enough and they should be doing more. And with social media, everyone's doing this. Why am I not doing this? I think that's really sound advice this time of year.
Yeah. It's about what's your locus of control, isn't it? So the things that you can do stuff about, get on and do it. And the things that you can't do anything about, let it go. You don't need to worry about it.
So for anyone listening who might feel overwhelmed or stuck today, what's one simple thing that they could do to help change their mindset?
Decide to change. Yeah, they just need to make that simple decision. And once they've made that decision to change, then it's decide how they're going to go about doing that, whether they do it on their own or whether they seek a coach. Yeah, but the decision is the first place to start.
We hold the power.
We do.
And you've helped so many people make huge shifts in their life. Is there, I imagine it's a hard question, is there one transformation in particular that's really stayed with you?
Well, my own, absolutely. And I think I am humbled by the results that I get with my clients, but, they're not mine. It's the individuals who move forward for themselves.
And what's one thing you're most proud of in your business journey?
Spark Inspiration reaching its first anniversary.
Yeah, which was really recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was November.
Oh, congratulations. That
Great
1
news.
year point is amazing.
Absolutely.
I remember mine. It was so scary, but exciting all at the same time. So brilliant.
Yeah. I'd recently moved to Lincoln, so I didn't know anyone. So networking and building the business up from literally scratch has been really something to be proud of.
Definitely. Congratulations. And happy birthday for November.
Yes. So you've brought your business here. You didn't know any people from Lincoln, and Lincolnshire is a very different part of the world, I found, from moving from somewhere else. What's the best part about working with people from Lincolnshire?
I think where I found the connection with it, a lot of people are not from here. There's a lot of people who've migrated into Lincoln, and I think I've connected quite well to those people who are also just found themselves here.
Definitely a magnetic draw for Lincoln.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, and you've settled in really well by the sounds of it, so it's brilliant. So what's the biggest misconception about coaching or holistic work that you'd love to clear up with our viewers?
Okay, so I think it's about quackery. So there's a lot of folk out there who you can just go on the internet and buy a £5 NLP practitioner certificate and there's no anyone can call themselves a coach. So really it's about, if you're ready for a coach, it's really looking at their credentials and what governing bodies they're a part of, and what their experience and what the qualifications are, and just making sure that they align with you and that they connect and they can help you achieve the thing that you need to achieve.
But now I think it's time for something a little bit more fun and not Christmas themed as well. It is Cupcakes and Cashflow after all. So if Spark Inspiration was a cupcake or a cookie or sweet treat, what flavour do you think it would be?
Oh, so I know it's a cafe and cupcakes is the name of the podcast. I'm not really drawn to cupcakes. I am partial to a vegan double chocolate chip cookie though.
Ooh, I mean, that's still a pretty nice sweet treat.
Yeah, my partner's vegan, so I'm with you. I'm always trying. They do cakes and all sorts. So I love a good vegan cake.
Yeah.
So What song instantly lifts your mood when you're prepping to work with your clients?
I'm a rock chick.
Good girl. Good girl.
So, Queen, Don't Stop Me Now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not sing. It's already raining.
The Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And Judas Priest, Painkiller.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd like to get your Doc Martens on and go out at the weekend.
Yes.
Let's go. Nicola, where can people find you, follow you, or book a breakthrough day?
So you can get me on LinkedIn, Nicola Eaton-Taylor, or on my website, www.sparkinspiration.co.uk.
And we'll add all them links on as well so people can find you. And finally, what do you hope most listeners will take away from today's episode?
I think that they can change. They don't have to stay stuck. It's all within everyone's power to move forward. And so if you want to make the change, seek a coach. We'll get you there.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to end today's podcast. Thank you.
Perfect. And go and check out them breakthrough days. They look amazing, everybody. Like, I'm going to go and have a look later.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, so yes, thank you so much. It's been a brilliant time, and what a fantastic one for me to first step into. It's been amazing. Thank you, Nicola.
Yes, thank you. And honestly, thank you, Lesley, for stepping in today as well, for Shelley, who couldn't be here. It's been amazing to sit and talk with you as well.
It's been a pleasure and an honour to fill the boots of Shelley, so thank you for letting me come along. And to all the listeners, thank you for supporting Cupcakes and Cashflow. We absolutely love bringing these conversations to you.
Yes, we do indeed. But before we wrap up, we just want to wish all of our listeners a very Merry Christmas. Whether you're working, resting, juggling business, children, motherhood, you name it, we hope you have a lovely Christmas. Or if you're hiding from it and wish it just wasn't here, we hope that you'll find a moment just for you this Christmas. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy your break, be kind to yourselves, and have the happiest of New Year's.
We'll be back with a fresh episode, fresh guests, and plenty more nattering for 2026, so we shall see you then. Look after yourselves, enjoy the cupcakes and the cash flow, and we'll see you next year. Goodbye.